friendly banter on Twitter, hailing their capital cities. Taking veiled potshots at the growing religious divide in Karnataka, the Telangana minister said that Bengaluru and Hyderabad must have a healthy competition in the spheres of job creation and infrastructure and not over halal and hijab. To which DK Shivakumar responded, saying that Congress will restore the glory of Bengaluru as India's best city once it's back in power in 2023. Let me go across to my colleague Neha Hebale. Neha, you've been tracking all these issues in Karnataka, and this is, of course, seen on a lighter note, this exchange, but this also, of course, brings into context. I mean, there are several ways of looking at this exchange which took place online, where, we could see, of course, that the Telangana minister there, KTR, taking potshots in a way at Karnataka. But, there are very serious issues which are underlying on this conversation, which DK Shivakumar and both KTR have, in fact, touched upon. But, of course, looking at the spirit in which this conversation took place on Twitter, probably they were not that serious. Or does it have political undertones?
Well, Tonima, in fact, considering that Karnataka is in, the run-up to the assembly elections, at this point in time, everything that is being said both by the government and the opposition is being looked at with a political undertone. Important to mention here that, where this controversy really began, or where, in fact, this light war of words actually began. So let's tell you that this was with a tweet that was put out by the founder of, in fact, a startup over here in Bengaluru city, where he's pointed out that despite paying taxes in billions, the IT capital of the city still does not have basic infrastructure such as roads, and the access to the airport itself is quite far away, to which in fact KT Ramarao, the Telangana minister over here, did react, saying that one should move to Hyderabad or consider moving to Hyderabad, where the infrastructure is much better. Now, we also saw a reaction coming in from Dr. Ashwath Narayan, who's the IT-BT minister of Karnataka, wherein he says that Karnataka isn't competing with other states, but Karnataka is in fact competing globally. Now, in light of, in fact, what's been said so far, it's important to mention that DK Shivakumar also has jumped into this and has said that, he's in fact thrown a challenge to KT Ramarao, saying that by 2023, when the Congress is back in power in the state of Karnataka, that in fact they would restore the glory of Bengaluru as the best city of India. So, having said that, of course, this brings us back to the actual issue on ground, Tonima, of roads, of water, of basic infrastructure, in fact, that's crumbling in the city of Bengaluru. As far as, in fact, the government of Karnataka is concerned, we have seen a light banter, like you rightly mentioned, but the larger issue, of course, and that's probably what the people of the state also would, in fact, be looking for this year around, hoping that with the assembly elections, approaching, that the government would act on the promises that were made as far as citizens' issues are concerned.
That's right. Neha, thank you so much for actually bringing that perspective into the story. Of course, it was a light banter, but also very important to keep in mind that our lawmakers are, of course, the ones who are entrusted with that faith from the citizens, that they will ensure best facilities in the city that they are living in.